You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show.
Boom, boom, birdie, 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 boys, girls, ladies, and gentlemen, welcome to AfterBuzz TV, brought to you by Bing, where Bing is for doing, and we're here doing another live after show recap. It's buzzing after Raw for Monday Night Raw, the week of New Year's Eve, December 31st. I'm your host, Ryan GQ Money Katz, and I'm joined as usual by my tag team of broadcast brilliance, Ryan Coke No Rum, Colonel Clum, and Raven Milk is Dairy, Travis Berry. I was trying to change it up today.
A little bit
get
today,
a little flavor change going.
Get a new name every
people
week?
do not
New
like
name.
change, though, so you better watch out.
But I like Milk is Dairy, Travis Berry,
like
instead
that.
of Truth
Amazing.
is Scary.
I'm allergic to dairy, but I feel like a developmental talent getting a new name every week.
Lactose intolerant Travis Berry.
This is the New Year's Eve show, or New Year's show, whatever we are at. As Vince McMahon said, Happy New Year!
Happy! That's right, man. We got New Year's Eve taking place on Monday Night Raw. The festivities begin as we usher in a new year, 2013, with Champion's Choice tonight. We started off the broadcast with a little Miz TV, the most must-see WWE talk show in history, according to The Miz.
Absolutely. I thought this was actually a pretty good Miz TV segment. Not too long. It was only about 5 minutes, led to a match.
What do you feel about being on the stage versus in the ring? Which one do you like better?
I actually like the stage. I thought it worked.
Stage
I thought
is
it worked
great.
better. Yeah, I thought it worked way better.
Abraham Washington show.
Yeah, it comes off more as a produced segment instead of the talk shows in the ring always bother me.
Yeah, and the talk shows that I grew up watching, the Brother Love show,
Piper's
the Piper's Pit,
they
were
built
all
side sets.
They were all side sets.
Funeral parlor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. The barber shop. You know, we can
Oh,
just
the
name
barber
them.
shop. Oh, Marty.
You gonna throw some barbershop window
He
plug right
doesn't
there?
need Janetti.
No barbershop window plug, but come on. The most famous barbershop episode of all time was the Rocker split.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's one of my favorite Bobby Heenan moments as well, when Heenan's like, I told you they couldn't have anything to do, they couldn't split up, and then he hits him. He's like, he doesn't need Janetti. He just turns on a dime. It was great.
Rick Drayson of Old School Wrestling and SmackDown would have loved. I watched an old Bobby Heenan match today circulating on Facebook. Unbelievable match.
Yeah.
Heenan in the ring is a wrestler. Everyone thinks of him strictly as manager, commentator. In ring, he was phenomenal as well.
He was amazing because he'd be the guy you wanted, someone to get a hold of him every week. And finally, they would have that one match where Bobby would have to wrestle the Warrior or somebody in a weasel suit.
He carried Warrior.
He did.
Well, Miz TV started off with 2012 Superstar of the Year as a guest. That would be John Cena. Cena comes out and Miz says it's all about the AJ situation and wants to know what Cena really thinks of AJ. In which Cena replies, "It's over, man." Yeah.
And to prove it, he's going to actually attend AJ and Dolph Ziggler's toast.
Yeah, they set up a New Year's Eve toast with Ziggler and AJ in the ring to celebrate the new year. And as all this was going on, we heard the classical music hit, and we get an appearance by the Rhodes Scholars, Sandow and Cody Rhodes.
Silence.
Yes.
Silence.
And I've
if
got
you
to
can
say,
beg your indulgence for a second.
I thought Cena was actually overall the entire night tonight really good on the mic.
You know, here's my thing with Cena. Cena
He's
is
up and down.
talented on
He's
the
up
mic.
and down. I
The
thought he was
problem
great
is,
this tonight.
the more they put him in the hokey comedy,
Mm-hmm.
the more you don't like listening to Cena on the mic. When you get an aggressive Cena who's got purpose and meaning, he's money on the mic.
Yeah, and I thought they actually over the entire night mixed the two. Actually, he did a little bit of the comedy,
He did
and
both.
he got real serious later on. And I thought it mixed really well. I thought he was dynamite.
Had some
overall
comedy,
tonight.
looking at Cody Rhodes' mustache, getting all up close and personal.
And how have they not put a Cody's mustache T-shirt out yet?
I
They
think it's
are
coming.
okay. They're
Mustache mood rings, man. Mustache
Yeah,
mood
but
rings.
I tell you,
if you're a fan of Cody Rhodes, you should go to IamSmiley.com
Yeah.
and you can represent him by representing me. Yeah.
But the Yes T-shirt that they hit that and it was like
the week after.
A week after. Like this is one of those things that they're gonna miss it if they don't get that out ASAP. It should have been out a week ago.
It needs its own
Not 2 weeks ago.
3-disc DVD also.
Yeah.
And Cody Rhodes in WWE. What year are we in? 14?
For the game, it'll be 14.
They've got to put the mustache in there.
Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Easy enough to change,
maybe
even
that'll
if it gets
be
if it's changed. That's an easy fix, I would think. Graphic
maybe
texture.
that'll be a pre-order from GameStop. You get the Cody's mustache.
But we gotta talk about Cena dropping some of the intellectual talk to Mr. Sandow, dropping Robert Griffin III, and Damian Sandow having no idea who he was. Obviously not an NFL fan, but then again, it was Washington, D.C.
That's 2 weeks in a row where football chants, though, do break out in arena. This is becoming a trend. Last year we had the Steelers chants.
You see it
this
all
year
the
we get
time.
not as much. Usually it's the city. You don't normally get a team being pushed so much. You get the RG3
So
chants
are you
this
saying when
week.
they come to LA in 2 weeks, there's no Raiders chants or anything?
It's going to be all Clippers chants, man.
It could be.
It's the land of the Clippers now. Here's what I didn't like. Cena's first interaction with Sandow. I didn't like that you guys suck right off the get-go. I mean, it's just diminishing them, making them smaller, and you never want to make guys smaller.
true.
You want to build them up and make them bigger. If they beat a bigger opponent, it's more meaningful than beating someone who already sucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you learn. Promo 101 is build your opponent. No one wants to see you beat a weak opponent.
Right.
So I had some
Good point.
bothersome feelings about that. Other than that, it was nice, and it set up a tag team match of Miz and Cena versus the Rhodes Scholar, our first matchup of the night, and it was a solid match.
Yeah, it was a really good match.
It was one of those rare opportunities where the match went straight from the segment to the match.
Yeah.
There was no commercial break. They walked straight to the ring, which, made you understand why the actual promo part of the segment was only about 5 minutes, and then you go straight to the match, which, I kind of like.
It flowed well.
Because, when you go to commercial break, it kind of like, okay, I got to sit through 3 minutes of commercials to see the match.
Right.
Walking from the interview set to the ring, you're like, all right, this is going to happen right here, right now.
I thought the Emperor of Enlightenment may have had an opportunity to pick up a win, but no. Cena made that hot tag, came in the ring strong, House of Fire, hit the 5 moves of doom. There was some interaction. It looked like it was going to get broken up, but in the end, some tag team tandemness by Miz and John Cena. Miz hitting the skull-crushing finale, setting it up into for Cena
and then
to hit the
Sandow
attitude
came in
adjustment.
for the clothesline. He ducked it out right into the
Popped
attitude
it up.
adjustment. Yeah,
Boom.
I thought it was a really cool sequence, just the way that whole thing flowed at the end. I really liked that.
Good opening
I
segment.
went back and watched it again.
Sets it off. It was a hot crowd in D.C.
I think it was kind of a setup to give Miz a rub, because a lot of people have been saying how he hasn't been too over as a face. And
True.
What's the best way to get over as a face than to tag with John Cena?
I hear you on
And
that.
they need him over as a face.
But
'cause
once
he's-
again,
does so much.
Here's my problem.
Marine 3.
You got a legitimate tag team that's potentially in line to become the future tag team champions, and then they lose easily to 2 singles wrestlers who
That's
don't
true.
tag team.
That's-
Don't like the overall long-term view of what they do. It was good for the segment, and it did
That's true.
work. But when you look long-term,
Yeah.
WWE's got to realize that when you constantly see these guys lose, it does play into the minds of their viewers, and they do feel they're weaker competitors.
Yeah, they should have put 2 other guys in there.
I mean, like I said, the segment worked. I get where they were going.
It was good. You're
Can't be
absolutely
perfect
right.
in all ways.
Yeah,
Obviously,
no, it
there's
was-
no such thing as perfect booking. But
It was a great segment, but it's a bit nearsighted in future thinking.
So now last week you were upset and didn't like the campiness, the comedy, the goofiness of the Christmas episode, but we go right to a backstage party segment which had that exact same feel,
thing.
but it worked for Christmas, and for me it didn't work for New Year's.
And it works. The funny thing is, for me, it didn't work for Christmas, and it was better for New Year's for me. I like this much better. I've never been a big fan of the party scene thing. It's a bit old to me, but
I like the way they
it was
set up
okay.
the room. Like at least it didn't look like they were just in the hallway, or you know, it looked like they catered a party.
And it looked relatively full with the amount of people. It didn't look like an empty party like it does a lot of times.
Good
So
production assistance.
Started off, Vicky was leading the talk, talking about Champion's Choice and everything. David Otunga having a conversation with her, claiming that
year of Otunga.
you wrote it down also. He's claiming the year of Otunga.
2013. Hey, he tweeted a picture today of him and his son.
And what do you think? Do you think we're going to see an elevation of his status and career in 2013? Or are we going to see him jobbing all the way through?
In WWE?
Yeah, man.
Oh, I thought.
I don't know.
Was that a hint that you're thinking future endeavor?
Well, I didn't say anything.
But you implied.
I'm not going to argue with the lawyer here.
I don't think he at all should be future
I think a lot of
endeavored.
people forget he's a former tag team champion with Kurt Hennig's son. So, you know, there's potential. He's got that. He has that look. There's a lot you can do with Otunga. I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
A legit guy from Harvard, you know, graduate of Harvard.
And he's got big-time Hollywood connections. I mean, they love that in WWE.
Just always wondered why Jennifer Hudson never sang the national anthem at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
She understands how the pay structure works there, and she's not into it.
Do you know that? I mean,
or maybe they're just trying to sept keep the, you know, not work together.
I mean, they do bring it up.
It's just a funny running joke, but kind of on a interesting but sad note, did you know the night that her family had that tragedy, she opted to go to Florida to see David wrestle?
Yes, I heard. I did hear that story.
Yes.
If she didn't, she would have been involved in the situation. Could have been.
I did hear that. That's crazy.
Murdered herself.
One of the very few times she was actually in Florida.
Brutality right there.
Wow.
But good. I mean, a little serendipitous moment in that she decided to make the trip. In the end, Vicky's still talking. Dolph Ziggler comes into the room. Says, hey, let's let bygones be bygones. Let's put it all behind us. And in the end, Vicky kind of sets up a match, saying you're going to have a match with Sheamus tonight.
Sheamus. Sheamus.
Yeah, man.
That's how he said it.
Sets it up. We go to commercial. We come back, and we get more party. Yeah, lucky us. This time, CM Punk. Here was my favorite moment of the party, though.
Okay.
I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
Definitely not my favorite part of the party.
Heyman?
No, but Heyman had a good moment, too, in that
Heyman
sense.
did have a good moment.
No, it was in the very background, back right corner of the screen. Tensai was just having a blast and was acting goofy.
They need to do more of that with Tensai. Tensai is going to have to become a comedy character, I
Tensai has
think.
grown on me so much in the last 2 months, and I think comedy in terms of shtick, aggression in the ring, and you got some money in Tensai. I mean, they brought him back hoping to make money off of him originally. I think if they go with that formula, they're gonna get everything out of him that they wanted.
And sometimes it's not the formula you think that's going to make money, but you know that may be the way to go with him.
He's incredibly entertaining.
He is. He's very entertaining.
Return of the hip hop hippo.
I definitely not the hip hop hippo, but Tensai, the character Tensai in a comedy role, I definitely would love to see that.
So CM Punk and Heyman come in talking to Vicky. They want to set up a match. Well, actually, it's because it's Champion's Choice night, and since CM Punk can't wrestle due to injury,
Brought his doctor from Chicago.
he did bring his doctor.
Yeah.
They figured that. Go ahead.
Yeah, he wants to. He wants to bring his doctor out tonight and let everybody know what actually happened to him.
Because some people are claiming that it's fictitious.
That is fake. Yeah.
I read that on the internet.
Fictitious injury.
Those people on the internet keep saying that it's fake
They
injury.
think he's trying to pull the wool over on the eyes of the WWE universe.
He's hanging out with the Shield, hanging out with Brad Maddox, you know.
So in the end, they decide that Ryback should have a match because he was going to be wrestling. Because CM Punk would have chosen Ryback,
Right.
So they want to give Ryback
And
a
Vicky
match.
chooses the Shield.
Well,
That was all Vicky.
After being whispered into the ear, she surprisingly yelled, "The Shield!"
I think they said Happy New Year.
And they said, "What a great idea
Great
that is!
idea, Vicky.
Handicap match tonight here on New Year's Eve Raw: The Shield versus Ryback." CM Punk goes, they leave, they get a little Happy New Year. CM Punk goes in for a New Year's kiss.
Gives Vicky a kiss on the cheek.
Gets the kiss. Heyman makes a little
there.
puckered mouth and
Couple times,
and then a
it's
little
like-
shake off of a didn't happen.
That would
no
be
kiss for Paul Heyman.
That would have been a great New
You want to
Year's
see it
kiss.
happen?
That would be a good power couple, wouldn't it? Vicky and Paul Heyman.
You want to see it?
I actually kind of would like to see it. I actually
at
don't
you.
think that's a bad idea.
That's what you're into.
I mean, if they
It's
really,
not what I meant.
that's what you're
But honestly, if they really went deep into the story and legit, they could have said, Paul Heyman gave Eddie Guerrero his start in the U.S.
the evil sorcerer that he is.
Started in ECW, then Eddie went on to WCW, and the rest was
The
history.
Gargamel of pro wrestling.
That could be an interesting pairing. Put the two of them together.
You want to see him make out, don't you?
No, I
don't know. I do because I just want to
You
see.
know how much heat that would bring, though, if the two of them. Oh,
I just want to see their acceptance speech for the Slammies 2013 for
Best
Best
Kiss.
Kiss.
that would be great.
So if Heyman has become the walrus, what animal would you classify Vicky as?
No comment. I don't
Oh, come on.
I have no
All
idea.
in good fun. What happens when a walrus mixes with a what?
I don't know. I'm not going to let you throw me under the bus
It's
like
not
you.
being thrown under the bus.
Oh,
you are,
last time.
You are a co-host of a show, and you are supposed to have strong opinions that you stand behind.
Absolutely. And last time you threw one of these at me,
That was
I
my
answered
first
and
episode
you
as the
refused
host.
to.
And I've gone on since and have given my six
and I do
to
not
Nick's,
forget
have
or
been
forgive.
open with my negative comments and appraisals of
Yeah,
talent.
I don't know.
Maybe they're called.
I
maybe they're
pass.
Called Marquez or something. I don't know.
Second matchup that I really enjoy. Antonio Cesaro cuts a promo in the ring.
I love this.
Hates America. Go ahead to talk about the promo and how he set it up because he has a great opponent.
The promo isn't what I loved. I loved
You
the
just love the opponent.
Oh, yeah.
So here's what surprised me on his opponent as I get to him. I would have expected, didn't his music used to start with the 10 hut, like an attention kind of thing, and then it kicked in?
I
No, that
just
was-
remember the drums.
His opponent, Sergeant Slaughter.
That was Evil Slaughter.
Yeah.
only Evil Slaughter had
I
it?
think so.
Because I think I like it because it just gives you that pop and signification that the crowd can get behind. that
Gotcha.
Here comes a Hall of Famer,
Kind of
and
like
they
the
know
what
who
a,
it is.
just kind of like the What a Rush thing when
It's the
Hawk
same
did,
exact
yeah.
thing. Yeah, you got same exact thing as What a Rush for sure. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Cesaro versus Slaughter, 64 years old. The guy's looking great.
Yeah, he's looking good, and he took not one but two neutralizers from Cesaro, which was a pretty impressive bump for someone 64.
Great guy backstage. What a sweetheart he is.
I'm just wondering how come Cesaro wasn't invited to the New Year's Eve party.
because he doesn't eat the cake and
Yeah.
have the drinks that the filthy fat Americans
Just
do.
want to make sure it was fair.
Yeah. And I don't know that this is a fact, but I got to believe that Sergeant Slaughter is probably the first wrestler with an action figure, right?
What, I think it's a non-WWE
Okay.
action figure because
Were they
everyone had the big old rubber LJNs. Or
Right, but
whatever.
did those come post? Because Slaughter was like before the Rock and Wrestling Connection, wasn't he?
Did
He was
Slaughter
doing
have an LGN one?
He was doing GI Joe, wasn't he?
Corporal Kirshner had an
87,
LGN, but not
86.
Slaughter.
But at the same time, I would
Nah,
think
they probably
the
had
G.I.
action
it was the
figures, you're
G.I. Joe
right.
after at that point
You're right.
because I mean the Big John Stud, the original Iron
Right,
Sheik
you're right.
figure, all
But
those
the
original.
LJN one came out in
The Steamboat one and
87.
What were the big rubber ones? The original.
LJN.
Those are the LJNs.
Yeah.
But those were 87.
No, I'm not too sure.
So there could have been
But
like
he was
an
a-
85, 86 Slaughter.
someone out there go do some research. Let's find out who the
Maybe who finds out the answer gets a prize.
Boom.
Got all these T-shirts in front of me.
We got some T-shirts.
But
and
we need to see
DVDs.
research.
We'll get some facts. We'll do a little fact
Yeah.
checking. If you can call in with what you believe is the answer, and we verify it to be true, we'll give you a prize, and we'll do a call in at the end of the show.
All right.
Keep tuning in to the end. We'll give away some more prizes. We go backstage to the locker room where Team Hell No is cutting a little promo action.
They're not happy because they were going to pick the Shield.
Yeah, they wanted a chance to wrestle
Yeah,
the
poor
force
Daniel
that they've been
Bryan.
around. Doesn't happen, and then all of a sudden they hear some screaming in the background.
Uh-oh.
They roll away the removable wall between locker rooms.
And you like the setup of the back.
3MB. Yeah, baby.
3MB is great too, man.
They're growing on me.
They're entertaining guys.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, given a situation that really didn't make sense, didn't mix.
Ooh, I just lost you.
But
there you
I
are.
said, given a situation where they didn't really meld and mix,
Mm-hmm.
they're running with the ball, man. They were given a ball and they're trying to do what they can.
I honestly have to say that at WrestleMania, instead of Kid Rock or Flo Rida, I would like to see 3MB.
It's not going to happen.
No.
Why not?
It's going to get interrupted by Flo Rida.
Yeah. Or they're going to interrupt Flo Rida. Or
Didn't
something like
Heath
that.
Slater interrupt Flo Rida last year?
Yeah, and then got chucked against the wall.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It was him and Hawkins at that point. Mm-hmm. They interrupted Flo Rida. Flo Rida pushed one of them because Flo Rida's
That
stronger.
wasn't last year. It was the year before.
No, it was last year's WrestleMania.
26 or
That was the Rock's
WrestleMania.
Mania.
WrestleMania. Okay.
Yeah, that was Rock's
So
Mania.
say, wasn't there SummerSlam? Did they have some involvement?
They've had another interaction.
I think
too.
it was a SummerSlam 2 years ago.
my vote for 3
I could be wrong.
performing
but you know,
at WrestleMania.
I'd be okay with it. It'd be fun to see what they would do in a performance.
Yeah. Those guys, I think, they're finding their stride. You know, they're working hard with that gimmick, and I like it. It's funny.
We go back to the party. And what do you know? Ricardo Rodriguez is out looking for is getting a plate of food at this point.
Catering.
See, everyone, it's finally coming true. Like, everyone thinks I'm joking that he's the king of catering. Like, everyone thought it was an inside joke, but no, it's true. It's like, he's the king of catering. I'm not lying, people.
He's pouring his drink when the Big Show comes up to him and says, "You know, Ricardo, I choose you." Ricardo drops his drink. I have no idea what Big Show said when he said something like, "You dropped your drink on
He
my
said,
bow ties."
Yeah, on my boot.
On my boot.
It was on my boot, but yeah,
I
he
played
said
it back like 3 times. It didn't sound like boots.
it said something weird. Yeah, and I'm not sure what he.
You're
what
always
he
wearing
actually
bow
said.
ties, so that's probably all you hear.
No, I went back 3 times to listen because it didn't really make sense, or
It
if he was
didn't.
referring to Ricardo's in his boat. Like, it was an odd choice of word. Didn't matter. It didn't mean anything to the segment. It was just one
Maybe
of
he's
those.
doing the Spanglish because he did.
was doing a lot.
He did a lot of Spanglish at the beginning. But yeah, you know, Ricardo at the catering table, which I thought was hilarious.
And then after that, we get some Divas moments in the party. All the Divas gathered around, and they bring in another Hall of Famer.
Mae Young.
Your favorite.
Yes, my favorite, who was trained by the man who trained me. So Rick Drazen,
Yeah, man.
Oh, I thought
who
Jesus
trained Rick Drazen. Yeah.
She wasn't trained by Jesus.
No. she trained Rick, and yeah.
Lawler was throwing one-liners all night, and every one of them was terrible this week.
But wait, we can't skip over a certain part of this little diva interaction
Yeah, because
backstage.
May got the title shot.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
I was just going on with
okay.
Lawler one-liners because you brought up a
Gotcha.
You know,
a Jesus
I thought we were
joke.
I
moving
thought
on.
I'm the one who has to go off topic.
No, I was
Come on.
staying there, but you brought up a Jesus joke, and it reminded me of the terrible one-liners that Lawler was throwing out on commentary all night long. I mean, they weren't hitting at all this week. But yeah, essentially, Eve decides that she wants to, you know, she said that she beat everyone there. And then Mae Young says, "Well, you haven't beaten me."
I love when they use Mae Young.
Do you?
But also,
yeah, you know, it's just because it's awesome. How old is she? She's like 90,
Yeah,
and she's still getting
she's
out
old.
and doing it. And I guarantee you, she'd go out and bump if they let her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
If they let her, she would.
I think she probably does. When Eve was there, she said, you know, I've beaten all these divas around me, and you notice the one person who said not me,
Was it Naomi?
the other one,
It was Cameron?
Cameron. Which, you know, is pretty funny that they actually got that in, you know.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Cameron has.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
you know, with Mae Young coming there and so forth, I wonder if Cameron actually knew who she was. Because, you know, if Alicia Fox and Melina is your best match you've ever seen in your career, you may
Yeah.
not know who Mae Young is.
Folks, if you like listening to these recaps, you should go on over to iTunes where you can rate, comment, tell a friend, and spread the word about our AfterBuzz TV after show recap shows. Only takes a minute to do. It helps us out. Give us all the stars you can. That's what I'm saying.
5.
I think there's technically more.
Is there more?
I think technically it's like a bar system. I don't know.
I thought it was 5, but if you can give us 1 billion stars,
Billion
give
stars.
us 1 billion stars.
Billion stars. I'm going to go quick off topic real fast. I'll bring it right back. Billion stars. Story came out today. YouTube pulled billions of hits off of all the
Oh, I
record
heard
labels.
that.
Craziness. Fun, interesting stuff.
So are you telling me Gangnam Style is not the number one?
We'll see what happens as all the numbers change. Tag team matchup, Hell No versus 3MB. Jinder Mahal not wearing the turban this week on the outside. So he didn't actually compete in the match. He's on the outside where he doesn't have to get physical.
But he had the turban on in the back.
Yeah, but he didn't when he was ringside. I found that odd. Like,
Yeah.
you would think he takes it off to wrestle, but if he's acting as a manager in that match, you would think he'd keep it on.
Do you like him with the turban or without?
I
Does
can
the
go
turban
either
bother
way.
you?
It doesn't bother me.
I think as much as Smiley's sweating right now, he may need a turban.
Wow. You do need a turban.
Man, the lights are hot today. I got the tuxedo jacket on, and the sweat is coming down, man. And then, you know, I got pressure. We're being watched today by tons of important people.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of important people, I just got a text, and he loved the picture.
Oh.
Oh, No, because there is a little picture because former guest of our show, Cathy Kelley, was sporting a Dolph Ziggler stealing the show shirt around the AfterBuzz offices all day
a fan base.
Hey, there she is in the shirt. Yeah, stealing the show. And as you were looking at me, like Dolph's gonna steal her as a girl, not your girlfriend, but hey, stealing a girlfriend too.
Dolph steals a lot of things.
The match Hell No vs. 3MB was pretty good.
It was.
I liked Jinder's running knee on the outside. It was strong. It was vicious. Looked like it attacked. Great comedy moment. Slater was on the outside, comes in the ring like he's going to make the save, and immediately gets tossed right out the ring. I think that's funny every time it happens.
Yep.
And Hell No wins as Kane hits the choke slam. And Raven, just to point out once again.
No, I wrote that down. I don't even want to talk about that.
I know you talk, because he said.
And I was going to say the exact same thing, and then he said it on Facebook.
I told you about it on Facebook. So
you said taped shows don't count.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a little backpedal.
I just wanted to say, I can't wait till Steve Austin meets Team Hell No, because it's Oh Hell Yeah versus Team Hell No.
Interesting. Yeah. You think it'll ever happen? Do you think Austin's going to have another match in WWE?
No. Maybe.
Think he'll do another?
It depends.
Who's worthy for him? Who will he lace the boots for?
Right now, Punk.
Everyone thought it was going to be Punk for the last 2 years, and it never materialized, which means even though Austin was pushing and saying maybe, it's not something he's interested. Otherwise, it would have happened already.
Well, if he's smart enough to hold it off one more time.
And I also think that could have been health. I mean, he just had surgery, right?
Punk Austin, WrestleMania 30.
Yeah.
Doesn't he's get any bigger than that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be this year because I know he's not ready. I think it would have to be WrestleMania 30. And Punk makes sense. I mean, but who knows at that point, could Dean Ambrose be the hot, heel out there that he would want to wrestle?
It's a long time away.
It is a long time, a year and a half away.
I said Rock should be holding that championship belt all the way through that Mania.
A lot of people, I read the comments on YouTube.
They liked what I thought.
Some people like that.
A lot of people liked it.
Shows a lot of alcohol was sold over the weekend.
Yeah. Hour 2 of the broadcast starts with CM Punk, Heyman, and his doctor from Chicago. Now, while he's got his doctor who works on his knees, I think CM Punk needs to see a plastic surgeon about getting the bags under his eyes fixed.
They've gotten bigger since the Summer of Punk, and he's become a bigger part of the company. I'm sure he's working all the time. He doesn't get any time off.
401 days as champion.
407 days.
407 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, I get it.
409 actually now.
I get the workload. I get that he's had to push through. I get that he's busy nonstop. But for a guy who doesn't do any drugs, doesn't drink alcohol, lives a healthy and clean lifestyle,
Juice
big on
cleanses and
running and this and that, you would think he would get a good night of rest, but like those bags just keep getting bigger, and it's not taking anything away from him. I mean, obviously it's happening because he does work so hard, but it's crazy, man, because you sit there looking like that just doesn't look healthy.
Yeah, it could just be genetic.
Could be, but they've grown, man.
Yeah, there's no doubt they've grown.
Once again, talks about everyone questioning the injury. And the doctor shows some pictures. Man, the sweat won't stop on me today.
I actually think they turned the heat on in here because I'm getting hot now, too.
Doctor essentially says that aside from the torn meniscus, there is major swelling going on in that knee.
And they showed photos.
They did show photos.
And those, I completely believe those 100%.
That's a legit doctor.
Absolutely.
The major swelling.
The champion would not lie.
Yes.
And because of major swelling, CM Punk cannot compete still.
Cannot compete. And will not be able to compete next week either. His doctor had said cannot compete.
No chance! No chance in hell you've got. Vince makes his way to the ring. Vince loves his entrance. He's so happy every time.
I love when he swaggers right down. I mean, nobody can do that like Vince.
Gives a big first out Happy New Year to everyone, as Raven referenced at the start of the show. And essentially tells CM Punk that all he's doing is weaseling out of a match.
Weasel?
Absolutely. To which Heyman then turns around and says, this man is legitimately injured. He's your perfect prototype champion. If he were to be able to compete, he would. And he's everything you want as a champion, everything you want to promote. And instead, Vince McMahon has become a flesh-peddling promoter.
Did you notice that there seemed to be a little bit of something off with Vince and Punk's timing? Like Punk started to talk about the Shield and stuff, and then Vince came off, cut him off, and went into the Shield. You could see Punk just going like, "I just said that, dude. I just said it, dude."
The cut-up was actually when he says, obviously someone who's been wrongfully persecuted by the United States, and that's when he got cut off.
Yep.
Vince goes on his thing, and when he was done, Punk was like, "I'm getting that line in no matter what." Yeah. So repeated it through.
Right.
But in the end, the match is going to happen next week. Tables, ladders, and chairs. Ryback versus CM Punk. And if the WWE doctors do not clear CM Punk to wrestle, there will be a replacement, and that replacement will be Paul Heyman.
Which I have just in the world of logic, I have a little bit of an issue with because, okay, obviously CM Punk is an employee of WWE, but Paul Heyman, as far as we know, is a representation of CM Punk. He is not an employee of WWE. So how can he be made to be put into match? He's not. He can't be. It doesn't
that
work.
logic doesn't bother me because to me logic states that anyone working for WWE in any capacity is under some sort of agreement with them no matter what.
Right.
So even if he's Punk's personal representative, it's almost WWE still has
should his personal masseuse be able to be put into a match as well?
Whoa.
And his cook,
his personal masseuse doesn't appear on television. Not the same situation.
Well, okay, let's see. He brought his bus driver down to the ring and wanted his bus driver just to chill in the corner while he was cutting his promo. And Vince wanted to go, "Well, you're wrestling tonight against the Big Show. Could he do it then?"
If he was used if he was used on TV and referenced, absolutely so.
It's because in order to like Ricardo getting a title shot from Big Show.
In order to appear on television, you would have to have some sort of worked out agreement for the day. I realize there's the swerves when people debut and then the whole getting a contract kind of vibe.
Dana White can't walk into a UFC octagon and make the interpreter of Anderson Silva fight at the next show.
But that would be so awesome.
But then again, Dana White doesn't have the ability to really make fights happen because it's up to fighters in their camps to decide if they want to accept the fight.
But I have a little bit of an issue with somebody who's not supposedly part of that. But I mean, that's me nitpicking.
The temperature must have raised another 10 degrees.
I think they did. That's what they like.
It's really hot in here now.
It's like what they used to do in the wrestling room in college in like the first week. I swore they turned that heat up way high to weed everyone out. It's because things on
Raw are heating up right now.
Hey, we're on the road to WrestleMania.
Big matchup. Dolph versus Sheamus. Dolph coming out to the ring with AJ and Big E Langston.
Little makeout session on the ramp there on the way down on the stage.
They love to make out.
Mm-hmm.
Dolph
and they're doing like the full-on, like just tongue down the throat makeout too, which is funny.
Match started really awkward in the sense of, and I'll say this: Dolph comes off the ropes. Looks like Sheamus is going to hit either a spine buster or something, then throws it into like a back body drop that was just so reckless and dangerous looking. Mm-hmm. Some sort of miscommunication.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It was almost, it was almost shows of Kane, Cody Rhodes, where Cody got hurt.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and it looked like Dolph's athleticism actually kind of saved him there.
I was talking with Monster Heel about, everyone likes Dolph. Fact is Dolph doesn't do anything crazy, anything spectacular, anything out of the ordinary, anything super athletic. He just sells like a champ and makes everything look meaningful, and that's talent.
He does do that chin lock headstand, though.
That's
a little style and panache, but nothing too difficult, so to speak.
And was it the Rumble, or was it where he was thrown like over the announcer's table into a headstand into a chair?
Yeah,
I forget. Like he does do some really amazing athletic stuff.
He takes great bumps.
He's the current Kurt Hennig.
But it's funny because
100%.
Because usually those wrestlers, especially that the internet community gets behind, are doing fancy moves. It's when Evan Bourne first hit his amazing shooting star, when Gabriel hits a 450. I mean, they're usually big, spectacular moves that attract people into him. Doesn't do anything crazy, but he does everything so solidly and technically precise that it looks great and people get behind him.
I think it's the cockiness also that people like.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's amazing on the mic. Yeah, I think he's just a great character. He's all around one of the best guys on the roster.
Sheamus hits a huge super fall-away slam off the top rope. Big bump again. And there was a tease right there. We were teased that we were going to get a confrontation between Big E Langston and Sheamus at one point. They're eye to eye. Big E starts grabbing the rope, stepping up onto the apron.
Can I ask one question too? Why didn't the referee start a count out? he wasn't counting. He was just like yelling at the guys, and I mean, it's a match. Big E's right there. They're in the back. The referee should have started counting. I mean, it's once again just kind of forgetting that this is an athletic competition. The guy walks in.
There was another moment later in a match that the ref should have there should have been a disqualification that never happened as well. So some of the inconsistencies of storytelling.
I mean, during the referee's break and stuff, they may have gone to the New Year's Eve party and
that's true.
Drinks were flowing.
And how unprofessional is that these parties are going on during the shows? Shouldn't these be after the show?
You would think.
I mean, everyone's getting liquored up during Raw.
In the end, as Sheamus had his eyes glued on Biggie Langston setting it up, Shield comes in and lays down a huge beat down on Sheamus, and this looked good. I mean, it was frantic, it was stiff, it was strong. They were laying in shots. Sheamus was fighting back strong.
I saw online some people saying that they thought it made the Shield almost look weak, and I disagree with that. I thought it took 3 major stars to get these guys out of here.
Sorry, I was smelling something burning, but it could just be the fact that my clothes are starting to feel like they're on fire right now.
Or maybe that's popcorn.
I did smell popcorn.
I think that might be popcorn.
Man, yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't think it weakens the Shield in any way.
I didn't think it did.
They need to show some vulnerability. I think one of the biggest problems the NWO ever had was that they had no vulnerability for the first however long it was.
It's one of the things with Superman that's a problem.
But I mean, for the NWO also, you're dealing with Hogan. Scott Hall was probably 6'6", and Kevin Nash is almost 7 feet tall. The Shield, I'm not exactly sure how tall Reigns is, but Rollins and Ambrose,
everyone does put
6'4",
over,
right?
yeah, and everyone puts over Ambrose and everyone puts over Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns has come out as the stud of this faction. I mean, they're all good, but the spear he hit on Sheamus was great.
He's got a presence.
He does have, and then he let out a battle cry, war cry as they went to commercial.
No, he's great though.
Making her way to the broadcast table and couch. We got the co-host that everybody loves. Make some noise, everybody, for Cathy Kelley. It's Cathy, bitch.
Oh, wow. Maybe that's why it was getting hot in here. It was a little...
Man, I mean, as she walks in, the temperature must have risen another 15 degrees. I'm going crazy right here, man.
I think Roman has to pay attention and actually step his game up as he has been doing. Not to take away from Cathy right here.
As she's there, can we throw the picture one more time on the screen as well?
I was told that this picture wasn't going to go anywhere.
Maybe I'll throw the text up there also.
I had nothing to do with this.
Kathy, you seem to be one of the most talked about things in the WWE locker. In the WWE locker room, you seem to be the buzzword these days.
Uh-oh. What does that even mean?
That means that people like Cathy Kelley, and that means we like Cathy Kelley on our show because that means ratings, baby, ratings.
And that's all that matters, right?
It is all that matters.
That's all he cares about. I get messages all the time about YouTube hits.
Tracking numbers, man.
Yep,
it's just like it's just like The Office in the back, tracking ratings. Let's go to that. Last week's ratings.
Are we done talking
No,
about the Shield?
we're still.
All right, I was like, I'm not.
We got more Shield coming.
We're trying to keep you on track.
I'm on track.
Call you off T Ryan Z.
Last week's, you brought up hits and ratings. Last week's WWE ratings, Raw ratings, lowest in 15 years. Was a Christmas episode, so there's an excuse.
I mean, people are going to go on the internet and say, "Oh, ratings this, ratings that." I mean, come on, people. It was Christmas Eve. It's New Year's Eve. You want to count ratings? Start counting next Monday, which is going to be tough because there is a big college bowl game on that night.
But Rock is back next week.
The biggest college bowl game of the year, though. That's the they've always got killed on this Monday.
That's
so
true.
this Monday, it's stacked for a reason.
Right.
And I love the fact that it's in Tampa because Stamford, Connecticut, Madison Square Garden may be the home of the WWE, but once it's really kind of Tampa, Florida right now, and it's going to be really fun. All the kids in NXT are going to be there to get the chance to see it live in person. But going back about the Shield, I think Reigns kind of knows he has to step his game up because he is out there with ROH's Seth Rollins and Dragon Gate's Dean Ambrose, and those are two guys that the internet community loved, and also WSX.
Yeah, man.
Seth Rollins. Kleinrock.
Do it for her.
But yeah, it's just that I think he knows because he's never done their level of wrestling, so he had to do something, whether it be the war cry, the spear, or whatever, to get to their level.
He carries a presence. I think he's going to constantly grow. I think he's hungry. I think he's ready to put the spotlight on him and keep it on him.
What would be the Rocky Maivia?
I mean,
You never know.
I think he's good, man.
I love their like pack mentality, the way they do that too. Just the way they're always protecting each other. They're just like one guy starts to get something on him, they're all on top of him.
I'm not loving the camera work.
Every time I see it, I'm like, Smiley is hating this right now.
It's too frantic. I get it on some of the attacks, but it's too much all the time.
I'm enjoying it.
They only do it for the Shield. So,
only for the Shield.
So do you think that's okay, that they have their own kind of gimmick?
I think it's cool. I think too much of it becomes annoying, and it's one of those just. I mean, I don't get motion sickness. I have no problem with 3D movies and all of that, like a lot of people do. But it just becomes too chaotic to follow, and I know that's what they're going for, the chaos.
And you know what I always wonder is why when I like their entrance through the crowd, but why do Ambrose and Rollins come down together and Reigns is on his own?
I asked Monster Heel the same question, like why wouldn't they all come down 3 different aisles, and essentially
because Reigns is so big that he doesn't need another dude to protect him from the fans.
But three aisles is too many camera angles.
Yeah, it's probably what it is.
Let's do 2 camera angles.
I mean, it's different though, and it's cool, and it looks different, and
I don't know.
What's your opinion on the Shield, Kathy?
I don't know. They're growing on me a little bit.
Seth Rollins used to be an emo.
Is that the one with the 2-tone hair?
Yes.
I did my homework and I watched an episode of NXT and I saw him on there. When was it? The December 19th episode?
Yeah, he's a champion.
I watched that on Hulu this morning.
Someone has Hulu. There we go. Hulu Plus. Get it. You can see NXT and all the other WWE programming.
Yeah. He was on my MTV show in a tag team for a while as well. It was awesome.
Thank you, Kleinrock.
He's a stud. Man, Kofi and Barrett in the back. We'll get back to more Shield stuff because they're again they have their match later tonight.
Yeah, and also I just want to say too, some people were complaining that this made them weak. I thought the way it looked, it took 3 major stars to take these guys out, and it wasn't easy. So I didn't think it looked weak at all. I thought it made them look strong.
Have to show some vulnerability.
Absolutely.
Kofi and Barrett in the back. Barrett approaches Kofi saying, "Hey, you're the only one who hasn't picked someone yet. Who are you going to pick, Hornswoggle or Lil Jimmy?"
He said they may deserve a match more than him.
Barrett doesn't like that and essentially makes it happen. He demands that his match. Kofi gives it to him.
Wade bullied his way into a match.
Yeah.
Bullied.
Be a star.
Bullhammer elbow, bullies in.
And bullhammered his way into a match.
Ends up getting the matchup. But then, hey, we go to another segment in the back.
A lot of
with
segments
Cathy
in the back
Kelley's favorite wrestler.
Brad Maddox.
She was like, "Oh,
wrestler or referee or what is he these days?"
I have to think of all my favorites.
She had to count now.
CM Punk and Heyman are talking in the back. Maddox comes in with this cameraman. Essentially says that he's looking for a job with Heyman.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't be? Have you seen Heyman hustle?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Follow the guy on Twitter.
And then Heyman tells him to get out of there.
I believe I've sent a resume to Looking for Larry as well. That's his production company.
Do you think this is all going to actually play off somewhere, his interactions with Heyman down the road?
Because there was a line.
What's that?
That made you think, like, what's going on? Heyman said, "Get out of my life."
Yeah.
It was the first time they've ever interacted on television.
No, it wasn't, because there was a time he put his arm around and walked off with Brad Maddox. He's like, "Hey, kid, I got to talk to you," and they walked off on.
Yeah, it was get out of here, get out of. I think there was 3 get outs, and then get out of my life was the closer on that.
So, but like, there hasn't been anything to show that he's been in Heyman's life. So.
Just that one
Is there
time.
going to be a follow-up of?
Well, you could have potentially the time that he's got involved in the Ryback match. And that could be, we didn't see anything, but the one time, when was it? Was it the time when he had the match against Ryback and he lost later? I think it was that episode, right? And Heyman saw him later on and said, "Hey, kid, let's talk about something," and put his arm around him, and they walked off together.
Yeah, but "Get out of my life" is also at that point referencing just the fact that he's constantly being brought up as being involved. So even if he wasn't, or if there never is a connection that we learn about, it's "get out of my life already. You're affecting it. I'm always hearing your name."
I'm wondering if there is going to be connection, or is this going to be one of those GTV things, or Foley
just going to dissolve away.
being attacked in the boiler room.
Let's
You know,
talk
that's
Foley
just
last week.
disappear.
Our-
Okay, yeah. So I got to make a retraction. It was Foley. I was getting killed online. Oh no, it was Foley. It was Foley. Okay, my one complaint then is that, and I got fooled, and maybe I'm just stupid, but I would have liked some way for them really to have hammered that home, just a ho 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 from him where we could have heard that, because he looks so different.
I mean, really quick, he did do the bang bang.
Did he? I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
I didn't catch
he did
that.
the bang bang.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Santa,
wasn't enough
Santa
for
could
me.
be a big Foley fan. You know, Foley wrote
Very
various
true.
Christmas books.
Very
Santa,
true.
you know, big fan of Christmas books. You know, he's got to read something the
Yeah,
rest of the year.
but he looked great with the beard. He looked like Santa.
Our audience and fan base has constantly been growing here on Buzzin' After Raw and AfterBuzz TV, so I'd like to send a shout out to our Australian contingency of fans,
Hey, mate.
specifically Gavwav right there, who was saying, "Hey, you brought up England in the UK last time, but what about the Aussies? So good day, mate, to you."
Oh, and our friend that went to a TLC, maybe he can call in on Monday because he was going to give us a report of how it was being there live.
Oh, very cool.
And, you know, the Barclays Center first pay-per-view event there, and he was actually there live. He actually, I believe he has some great seats, so he's going to try to call in or at least tweet or email someone.
Fantastic. Back into the back. Once again, lots of backstage segments.
Another party segment.
Mae Young is there, and Mae Young having a problem that I don't mean to embarrass you, Cathy Kelley, but many women have this problem. She got struck with some cramps.
Uh-oh. And the Usos really quickly grabbed the table, got it right over.
They were like deli boys.
They're like twins. I mean, they were on the same page right there. Hey, let's get that table right over for May.
They lay her on the table. Doctor pulls out the stethoscope in a very awkward, non-real doctor way, like afraid to really touch her, it seemed, with the stethoscope.
Well, you got one.
She's old. He might break her.
Yeah, but apparently not so old that... She's pregnant again.
Again. Oh, not again.
She said not again.
Twice.
Now,
Well, I think
She missed her cue.
she went early.
She went early.
And I think you hear a whisper that someone's like, "All right, look to the camera, say it again." Like you hear
Yeah.
something mumbled in the back, and then she goes, "Not again."
Yeah. The first not again was definitely better.
her best promo is when she called Lake cool sluts and bitches.
Sets up a Divas match. Eva versus, we're expecting Mae Young, but she's about to give birth to
And
a
it
baby.
didn't really set up a match. It was more of an attack by Caitlyn because this
Caitlyn
wasn't
came in.
an actual match.
Started the fight. Actually, Eve was in the ring, demanded that her hand be raised. She's beaten this Hall of Famer by forfeit, and to bring a photographer into the ring to document the situation, to document the historic moment. And that's when Caitlyn's music hit and she came running down, slid into the ring with a little grace, and a little brawl broke out.
Big brawl broke out.
Big brawl.
Brawl or brawl?
Brawl.
Okay.
Brawl.
Caitlyn trying to get the best of
Both.
you know, in the end, Caitlyn came out strong on that one.
Yeah.
So
Obviously setting up, they're going to be having a title match, obviously, somewhere down the road between those two.
next,
You think Caitlyn's ready to have a run with the Divas belt yet? Championship?
I don't think she's ready personally, but you know,
why
that's
not?
my.
If she's not, who is then?
I just don't think
Because,
she's
yeah.
missing something to me. I think she's a pretty girl. I think she's got some skills, but just the way she's always been booked, she is an afterthought. It kind of seems they're just throwing her into the mix because they don't know who to use.
They're pretty light on actual in-ring divas right now that are really strong.
After watching
in-ring.
who do
Naomi?
after
Naomi.
watching Naomi, man, I don't know why. How could she have had such a great match and we haven't seen her wrestle again since?
That's very true.
Doesn't make
Why
sense to
haven't
me.
we seen that?
Because she had a great match.
That's probably the problem.
Matchup next in the ring. Our guy, Ricardo Rodriguez, wait. Excuse me. We're promo in the back.
Oh,
at
you're
this
right,
point.
you're right.
We're
It's
promo
promo.
in the back.
Okay, you're right.
Del Rio comes up to Ricardo, says the situation isn't fair. You know, that Ricardo's not being treated well, and he even admits that in the past he hasn't treated Ricardo well, and
Sure, he
Ricardo
like
doesn't
dirt?
deserve that.
Is that what he said?
Like
Yeah.
dirt, because he is
Like
dirt.
dirt.
And he doesn't deserve it.
He is
and,
from Van Nuys. So.
and Ricardo says he's going to win the championship tonight in Alberto Del Rio's honor.
And Del Rio
And Del
gives
Rio
him,
says, not only will I be there with you, I'll be there for you. Mm-hmm. And you got to look like a champion if you're going to be in a match like this. And
gives him the scarf.
then he says, you know what? You got to have a little style too. Tosses him the keys to the car.
But that's where he just drew the line. because I was waiting for Alberto to introduce Ricardo.
I was too. I was too.
As was I.
I was too.
Thought it was going to happen.
I thought the same thing.
Show in the ring first. Ricardo comes out in the Mercedes SL 550 worth $200,000. A lot better than his Royal Rumble car of last year.
Dodson.
I loved the Royal Rumble car of last year.
Ricardo being advertised as 224 pounds. 224 pounds that seem to be rising due to catering, I think, maybe.
King of catering.
Let me tell you, though, he had a nice little bit of offense for a little bit.
His little comeback there was great, and the crowd really started to get behind him,
The
too.
crowd's always behind
Always,
Ricardo.
ever since he's ever started.
Yeah.
Shining Wizard in the corner, did the little stunner on the leg kind of thing out of the corner.
And you could see, I loved Alberto Del Rio on the outside when it was going on, his facial expressions when Ricardo was getting the offense in.
Likeable situation.
This is my plea to THQ that you've got to put Ricardo in as an active wrestler in the next video game, because he's always been a manager, and I know the people at THQ are loving this, so...
With El Loco, hopefully as an alternate ring gear.
Anyways, he comes off the ropes,
Or
ends up
El
getting
Local.
slap chopped down by Big Show, takes the big move, loses the match, but a nice effort.
You know,
Was there a run-in?
Alberto came running in.
He does come running in.
He went.
Let me see your face.
He set up for the WMD, and Alberto came running in
big
and
kick.
attacked him. It was a DQ.
Yeah, that was actually what set up. He yells at Big Show, "Let me see your face," and then kicks him in
Yeah.
the face and all that. Kofi versus Wade Barrett for the Intercontinental title. A lot of counters in this matchup.
Good false finishes on this
Yeah,
match. Really good.
When Wade set up Kofi in Wasteland, Kofi started throwing some elbows to counter it. That third elbow connected so hard on Wade Barrett. One, you hear the smack of an elbow on his face. Two, you see the jiggle of his face. And you see Wade Barrett's eyes just open up like, I just got nailed in the jaw. Kofi's a stiff wrestler.
Yeah.
He seems to be kicking everybody and hitting everybody all
good,
the
though.
time.
I think everyone's watching the show tonight because the chat room and the video feed keeps freezing.
Oh, interesting. In the end, Wade hooks the bullhammer, gets the win. We have a title change on a taped episode of Raw. Wade Barrett becomes a two-time Intercontinental Champion.
And I actually like that we had a title change tonight with every belt on the line except for CM Punk's title.
Interesting fact, he beat Kofi before for the Intercontinental title. So he's beaten Kofi twice for the IC title.
So there's not even a rubber match because we're up 2-0 on that one. Uh-oh. Back to the backstage in the party. Mae Young is in labor. You probably like this segment because you enjoy this kind of humor.
Well, you know what? I liked this because of.
Come on.
Well, but because
How
it
did
was
you not like Christmas, but you like what happened here?
Because this was an homage to the Mark Henry, Mae Young having a child years ago, and that was part of the Attitude Era.
The homage that was worthwhile was episode 1000 when a
Yes.
grown-up hand walked by. Having
And
Mae
now
Young,
the hand has a brother.
Having Mae Young give birth to Hornswoggle isn't funny in any way.
I'm sure that they needed footage for the 20th anniversary of Monday Night Raw coming January 14th on the USA Network.
And is this
It was
Roger
Baby New Year.
Is this Roger Rabbit? I mean, what is a baby Hornswoggle doing with the cigar?
My question is, all right, she gave birth to Hornswoggle. That makes her Hornswoggle's mother. Does that mean Finley and Mae Young? Because Finley's Hornswoggle's dad.
That's what we learned in all those storylines. Man, didn't do it for me.
I have no idea.
I'm skipping over it. Didn't love this segment. We get a recap of the Santa Claus situation, and then we go.
Which was, wait, I don't.
Oh, I went early.
No, that's what that was kind of odd. Is that you already had Del Rio out there as a face, and then you recap the
And show the whole
episode
thing.
when he's a heel. It was like you're ending the.
But he was a heel. He was a face supposedly during Christmas because before they taped that he had already done his babyface turn. So that Christmas episode was a little off.
Before the birth, actually, though, Santino and Zack Ryder decided to come to the party. They said, "It's party time!"
I suggest everyone start reading Zack Ryder's Twitter immediately.
I enjoyed it today. Dude, that was the best thing. Zack Ryder had a tweet the other night. He said, "What do I need to watch the ball drop? I've been watching it being dropped all year."
He's back to old Zack right now.
It was
At least
entertaining.
on Twitter.
Shield versus Ryback, handicap matchup. Great sign in the crowd at this point. Did you notice the sign?
Did it say AfterBuzz?
No, it said "Feed me s'mores."
Because if you bring your sign to the crowd, you can win one of these great products.
Absolutely. We're still looking to give away the Xbox 360 version of WWE 13. Big brawling matchup. Ryback trying to be strong, but the pack mentality, the Shield's getting the best of them until Sheamus runs in. Why was there no bell rung for disqualification the minute Sheamus laid his hands on the Shield? And even while that was going, there was
I'll tell you why. Was there a bell to start? I don't think the match ever started. The match never officially started, and I actually jumped the gun earlier talking about some of this
and then we have a final run-in because Orton came back and jumped into the mix as well.
Yeah.
Once again, faces going over on the Shield in this situation.
And this is what I was talking about, where I didn't think they looked weak, and I jumped the gun a little bit earlier.
Right. Yeah, no, they didn't look weak, man. It's what you got to do. You got to make people believe that the faces have a chance to beat them.
Yeah.
And once again, that's what happened with NWO. There was no realistic threat to the NWO, and that's why WCW as a company died because they couldn't get out of their booking.
You just watched the NWO DVD.
No, I haven't even watched it yet.
Because they were totally talking about that.
It's what happened. Final segment of the night.
You know, the one thing though is Orton made this just a very quick appearance by him. He came in, made the save, hit the RKO, and that was it. You didn't really see much of him.
So much great food and drinks backstage at the party.
But he wasn't at the party.
Great sell by Ambrose on that RKO.
By Ambrose.
Yes.
Took it like a champ.
Ambrose sells great.
He's got those big facial expressions. He's got the crazy Piper faces too. Final segment of the night, New Year's Eve toast. First off, Ziggler stealing my look with the open bow tie. I had it on here on AfterBuzz 4 weeks ago. I decided not to tie my bow tie, go with the stylistic choice.
Are you taking credit for that?
The Gangnam style?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, it's honestly, it's even a Rat Pack style, but at the same time, you don't really see that many people doing it.
Since we're talking about Ziggler, should Cathy be holding her shirt up over there?
I do have my shirt.
Oh, wow.
It's a little bit big.
Another style issue, another style problem on Dolph Ziggler that Cena actually points out. But I popped when Cena points it out because I had written it down right before that. Ziggler had all three buttons of his sport cup buttoned up. Man, every guy should know that the bottom button doesn't get buttoned in a situation like that.
So, always, sometimes, never is the 3-button rule.
Yes.
You go from top to bottom.
Absolutely.
I even know that, and I'm a girl.
Absolutely.
Wow. I am
3-button, you're going to go top or top and middle.
speechless on that one.
2-button, you're always going to go top. You never button that bottom button. Even if you're wearing like a cardigan sweater, you're never going to button the bottom button. I like to spread fashion knowledge here on Buzzin' After Raw. Cena throwing up pics on the screen, some funny pics, a little humor.
And I want to say he was off on his numbers of counting how many guys AJ's made out with. He was one off, right? It's 5, not 6. He said he was 5 and Dolph was 6.
Right.
I think he had one too many, right?
I'm not positive on that one.
Kane, Danielson.
Yep.
Cena.
And Ziggler.
Was there one more?
I don't think so.
So they show all these various love child things, the blend of what the Ziggler AJ baby will look like, all the people that AJ makes out with,
and their wedding photo with Dolph.
The wedding photo was hysterical.
That was the best one.
That was the best one. Dolph in a wedding dress, Biggie Langston in an ugly dress in the
The
background,
bridesmaid's dress.
and AJ dressed in the tuxedo right there.
I thought that was great.
When they showed the collage of all of the superstars, that like implying all the people who
that she's had kids with, or that she's the Bushwhackers.
Fuji.
Who was in the upper right corner?
Billy Jim, Fuji.
He was upper left.
I wish
your boy Kapoor on the bottom right.
The photo
but
to
in
pull
the
up.
upper right, there was a dude in glasses with bushy hair. He was the only one I had no clue who it was.
I'd have to see the picture again.
Yeah, interesting situation. Funny moments. Cena was on his game with some funniness.
Cena was, I think, completely on his game.
And then Cena went serious.
That's
and he
when
was
he got
super
great.
strong.
Yeah.
And in the end, essentially, go ahead and set it up. I don't know how we set up how this big moment happens. When watching,
here's what he said.
Always complained.
Yeah, Dolph basically went on this whole diatribe of the bad year Cena had, showing every embarrassing moment, and then that's when Cena got serious and he said. He's been there for 10 years and he's had one bad season, and then he went off on Dolph and said, "This is your 7th year here," and kind of went off on Dolph, said you were a caddy, and then you were a cheerleader, and then you were this and that.
Well, also because before that, Cena said, you want to go off on, I'm not sure which term he used. He didn't say creative, but he said a group of people. You go backstage, you want to go off on someone and say, follow that, and that you're the show off. It's like, that's when he said, I've been here 10 years, had one bad season. You've been here 7 years.
Good.
So forth. And then he went, it's like, let's look at you, Dolph. You You were a caddy. You were a cheerleader.
Right.
You had blonde hair. You had brown hair. You had blonde hair. You know, you
had a
dated
big girlfriend. Now
Big
you got a little
girlfriend.
girlfriend.
Little girlfriend. You know, you have a black guy as your bodyguard. You know? So.
And in the end, Cena drops a little present from the ceiling. Mm-hmm. We knew when they were all dressed in white that something was going down.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that anytime
And now we understand why the segment was the last of the show.
Like a P. Diddy white party, but.
I mean, I know the first time I ever juiced, got blood on a show, that I knew I was going to be getting blood on a show. I went with the white outfit as well, knowing it was going to stand out. When I saw him getting ready, before even didn't read results for this taping, I said something's going to happen because they're obviously going to get dirty. So I thought it was going to be drinks, pie, whatever was going to get thrown. Because if you're wearing white, you got to get dirty on a wrestling show.
Second time for Dolph.
Second time getting dropped, like getting something dropped on this from the ceiling.
DX when the Spirit Squad were on the ramp.
You are correct, sir. Yeah, so they dropped feces, a little sewage, a little fecal matter.
Or something that looked like it, at least.
Even fake, it's really gross.
It is gross.
I mean, it really is gross. And this is coming from someone who also competed in a raw sewage match myself. I mean,
A raw sewage match.
yeah, man. Since we're on the last segment, and that's actually how we end the broadcast right
So
there.
all those
that's
matches
it.
were
Oh, Raven.
raw and sewage.
Man, if you go look at Amazon and all the DVDs I'm on, that's not what the fans think, man. There's always comments from people who
Sadly, I
say
spent-
GQ Money's stealing the show.
Sadly, I spent 3 hours on YouTube the other night watching XPW footage. That's my life.
What are you trying to say? You have something in common with Mr. Ziggler? You both steal the show?
I believe so. I
Do you
believe that
steal
to
people's girlfriends as well?
I can't say that I have that going on for me right now.
I
but-
am not even going there with that one.
Man, but yeah, my raw sewage match included my favorite moment in my wrestling career when I was sidewalk slammed off of a 30-foot tower
Oh, wow.
through a table covered with a kiddie pool of raw sewage.
Can we talk about
Sounds like
Cathy's
fun.
cookies right now?
Let's talk Cathy's cookies.
I thought it was cupcakes.
As we close off Raw, it was an entertaining show. I didn't love the.
I liked this week. I thought it was better than
Christmas
last
better.
week.
I liked Christmas better, but that's why we all have opinions.
I'm looking forward to the next month.
I got to give a shout out to 057, who follows us on the Facebook page, facebook.com/BuzzingAfterRaw. We got the YouTube clips going. We got the Twitter and social media and social marketing. Cathy, did you make any baked goods over this holiday season?
I did. The only thing I did make was Mississippi fudge cake. I'll bring it in next week. It's pretty good.
Oh, yes.
Mississippi fudge cake.
It's like s'mores in the middle of fudge and chocolate. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
I'm down.
My doctor's going to kill me.
I love decadence. And then,
Next Monday.
Pet peeve of mine, when you're
Monday's my
talking
cheat
desserts
day.
and people are like, it's too sweet, it's too rich. How is that even possible?
I used to say that, but now I'm not of that ilk anymore.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Give it to me. I love chocolate now.
Chocolate's the dark chocolate.
Yeah.
At least 73% cacao.
Have you ever heard of dark chocolate bacon cupcakes?
That's what my girlfriend used to
No.
call me.
I have made those. Your girlfriend used to call you that?
Yeah.
I'll make those for you too.
Bacon and chocolate
Yeah.
are strangely good together.
It's amazing. It's like
yeah,
a
it's
sweet and
amazingly
savory.
good together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone laughs when you. I love how we go from wrestling talk to. We're talking food on Buzzing After
Well,
Raw.
you
Yeah,
did
we're gonna
mention
get in trouble.
s'mores earlier.
Feed me
so-
s'mores.
Feed me s'mores.
Maybe we should be making s'mores for a special Ryback matchup.
If he
Yeah.
wins the Royal Rumble.
Then we all did s'mores for everyone.
Could work.
Regular graham crackers, cinnamon, or
Who do you
got a
think is
preference?
gonna? We didn't
Let's talk
mention.
Rumble.
John Cena
John Cena
announced
threw his
that
name in
he
the
is gonna
hat.
be in there.
Yes.
We didn't mention that.
We have heard
Yes.
that Randy Orton is going to be in the Rumble too. I think it was announced online.
There's
and one
always-
other. There's
there's
three have been
Sheamus?
announced. It may have been Sheamus.
Yeah, Orton and Sheamus.
And you always have those like kind of guys that are brought back. Who do you think they might bring back? Like, could we see like a John Morrison come back?
I find it
possibly?
interesting.
Stand back.
He is
There
booked
could
that
be a
week.
hurricane.
He's booked 2 days
on-
before that at Dragon
on that-
Gate up in with Vendetta.
But there's a show in Phoenix that Friday, 2 nights before the Rumble, and I saw that Shelton Benjamin, Carlito, Chris Masters, and Hurricane are booked on the show. So I just find it odd that
they're
in
all gonna be in the
Phoenix,
area together.
2 days before.
Interesting.
Do you have any Royal Rumble predictions of who you'd like to see win and who you'd like to see get an opportunity to face the WWE
Or
champion?
a better question is, do you know what the Royal Rumble is?
Or even a way better question is, what are you bringing to eat?
Wait, and you say I throw people under the bus with the question like that?
She's a new fan.
I mean, she hasn't
had a Royal Rumble experience yet.
Royal Rumble is the only wrestling pay-per-view where you can legitimately bet and gamble because there's no way to predict what's going to happen
I'm
based
not
on the
endorsing
lineups.
this statement, but
And when is this?
This takes place the end of January. I don't know the exact date.
January
29th?
27th.
27.
Okay.
Takes
I'm
place
in.
from Phoenix, Arizona.
30 men?
I'm sure we'll be doing a little AfterBuzz for the event.
I have a show that night, but I will try to get here quickly afterwards.
What a
and get here.
segue, because let's talk plugs right now as we close out
okay.
the broadcast. Ryan, where can the people find and see more of you?
Well, you can find me next week, or this coming Saturday, at Millennium Pro Wrestling in Simi Valley, California. Bell time is 7 o'clock at the Simi Valley Boys and Girls Club. The following week, on the 12th, I will be in Fresno, California for NAW, I think. And then for AOW the following day on the 13th I will be for AOW up in Palm Springs.
Listen to this guy, a regular journeyman over
I got
here.
a couple other things that we're working on. We'll talk about next week.
Raven Milk's Dairy, Travis Berry, what do you got going on?
I have absolutely nothing to plug this week. I'm going to be quiet.
Let's plug next week. I believe next week we will have Brian Kendrick in
absolutely.
studio
Some guests coming
over
in
there.
the next few weeks.
In studio guest, former WWE Tag Team Champion Brian Spanky Kendrick.
Held the title for almost a year, I believe.
longest reigning tag team champions in WWE.
I believe he had a.
Demolition held them. They say that, but Demolition held them over
Did he
a
have
year.
a singles title too at one point?
The trick is
Not there. In TNA, he
Yeah, but
held
I
the
thought-
X Division.
Okay, I was
the trick
thinking
was
he
that
had.
they said WWE. Demolition held WWF. That's
Cupcakes. How about you? Where can we taste and sample your delicious baked goods?
Well, there is no place for that, but you can follow me on Twitter at Catherine Kelley.
You need to
Fantastic.
tweet more.
I know I should tweet more. I'll tweet tonight.
Yeah, you're the one.
After the show.
You're the one who taught me about clout. My score is going through the roof. I'm getting special clout perks now,
look
where I
at
get
you.
special offers from companies if I were to promote.
Wow.
I'm close to the 70 score.
Wow.
Yeah, baby. I
you.
jumped
Jealous.
big. I jumped big. Well, you can see me this Saturday where I will dominantly defend my MPW Maximum Championship.
Who are you defending against?
I believe I'm taking on Lucky Pierre. But let me tell you this.
Are you going to be in the Battle Royal?
I don't believe so. A champion doesn't have to do something like that. Let me tell you this. I'm growing the beard because you're going to see an aggressive, more heel-like. You know, I've always been the cowardly heel. You're going to get a little personality change out of me. It's time for GQ Money to go tough this show.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got a 6'4", like 350-pound guy coming at you. So
He's coming at me because I called him out.
Yeah.
I called out Brawlin' Bo Cooper.
Not the smartest
punk rock
move ever.
powerhouse. You may be 300 pounds, but you got nothing on me, Bo Cooper. You could also see me tomorrow at the Santino Brothers Dojo in Bell Gardens, where my alter ego Rixelplix will unleash a voodoo apocalypse.
I believe
the
against the
Voodoo King.
hobo, I read.
I believe so.
Yeah.
And it happens to be his birthday, so I wanted him to know that I had myself a slice of cake right off of this championship belt as a plate.
Was
the
it
hobo's
cake
birthday?
that Cathy made?
Of course it was. This it. We're out of here this week of Raw, December 31st, buzzing after Raw. Bye-bye, Birdie.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.